Welcome back, Duelists. Casual Duelist here, and I got something I said I would do. So, when Ghosts from the Past introduced us to a reprint for the Meteor Black Comet Dragon, I said I would show you guys a cool little OTK. Now, real quick, this is not like a professional top tier OTK. This is what I would consider more of a glass cannon. Meaning it's either going to blow up on the opponent or shatter on you. So you can have a very fancy, shiny looking brick before the end of the match. So let's go ahead and show you guys my deck list. Now we are running a 40 card monster deck, or main deck, sorry. And I only have 3 copies of the Comet Dragon because the extra deck outside of that really doesn't matter. Everything we want to do has to happen on our first turn. And again, if our opponent has hand traps and stuff, it's very possible for them to stall us out immediately, and then we're just stuck. So again, let's just get to the list itself. So the starting card is we're going to have 3 copies of Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact, and he's only in here because you absolutely need him to make that fusion. We're going to need 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon, but I know I didn't need to go so hard as to get the single Legend of Blue Eyes and double starter deck Joeys. I just did that for the fun of it. I love the art of the original one, and I've had this thing nearly, it's been almost 20 years, 19 years now. So fantastic. Again, he's one of our major components and leads into our win condition. We are also going to increase our chances by additionally playing 3 copies of the Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. And again, it's just when we're talking about the fusion monster, you need a 7-star Red Eyes monster. And the last up, and this is just Allure of Darkness fodder, I went with 3 copies of Red Eyes Retro Dragon. Now, I would have gone with Black Metal Dragon if Red Eyes Fusion didn't say that it had to be the only summon that turn. When you actually activate it. If it didn't say that, we could have easily just put in the Metal Dragon, like I said, and then actually used Salamangreat Almirage as just a quick link to make him go field discard to add a Red Eyes spell trap to your hand, which again would have been brilliant and is a great strategy if you guys are actually playing a battle variation of this. And then now so that was 12 monsters. The other 28 are all spells. So we're going to try to rapid fire this because I would like to get a test hand or 2 in here to just kind of show you guys whether or not it bricks on me today. You're going to run 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, a single copy, Card Destruction again, starter deck Yugi, just kind of flexing out here. Got the 3 copies, cards of the Red Stone. This is going to be very helpful. 3 copies of Dark World Dealings. You could go with playing the Danger cards, but again, unless you end up developing into Predator Verde Anaconda and choose to pay the 2,000, this is actually more consistent. Because if you just try to activate the Red Eyes Fusion from your hand and you've already played a Danger card, then you've actually just made it so you can't play Red Eyes Fusion. We are using 3 copies of Hand Destruction. I like this a little bit more than Magical Mallet. Of course, this has to interact with your opponent. They have to have at least 2 cards in their hand. But I'll explain that here in a little bit when I do the wrap-up stuff. 3 copies of our game-winning card, Inferno Fire Blast. Just amazing amount of burn damage, the way that this deck produces. For the Deep Dig, when you're right there, just about everything in your hand. 3 Pots of Desires. All the other pot cards are not going to let you draw, which means you'd have to forego cool cards like Cards of the Red Stone and, of course, the Allures. So I just decided I'd go with Desires and test that out for a little while, and it seems to work. Triple Red Eyes Fusion, because we got to create the boss card in order to perform the combination. You want 3 copies Red Eyes Insight because it's going to help us thin out the deck and also add stuff. And then the last card, this is really the third card you need for the combination, is 3 copies of Serial Spell. And this one's also really cool. Kind of old. And then again, since it's just like a turboed glass cannon OTK build, you're going to want, you really only need one, but I put all 3 of them. I sleeved up my originals, as well as the reprint for the Meteor Black Comet. So, if you guys were just here for the deck list, thank you guys for watching. That means a lot for me. Again, if this helps out, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. And let your friends know if you guys have anything that you'd like to see, and I do have the cards for it. I'd be more than happy to give it a go and see what we can't do for you. But otherwise, you guys are good to go. You guys have a great day. For everybody else, let's talk over the effects and some of the reasoning now. And I'm going to hold them a little closer to the camera, so hopefully it'll focus in and give you guys the text. So, Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact. We only needed him because of the wording on how to summon our Black Comet, which is 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster and 1 level 6 dragon. Now, it's not level 6 or higher, it's not level 6 or lower, it's specifically level 6, so we do need the Meteor. He is our in-deck card for it. So, he's half the equation. Next up, you got Red Eyes. The other half of the equation, you have Red Eyes Black Flare. Again, we're using him for the name. He's a Red Eyes card, and he's a 7 stars, and he's dark, so Allure is going to work. Nothing else. Red Eyes Retro, we don't even need to know the effect of this card. Again, we're just using him for the dark attribute. Moving over, you got the Allures for the draw power. Draw 2 cards and banish a dark from the hand, and if you cannot do that, discard the entire hand. Card Destruction, both players discard their hands and draw that many new cards. Again, you guys could play Magical Mallet if you wanted to. The only thing I didn't like about Magical Mallet was there was a lot of times I would end up pulling back the same card I had just thrown back into the deck. So, did not work out too well for me. First card we actually need to know is Cards of the Red Stone. So, send 1 level 7 or higher Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard, which is why we have 6. Draw 2 cards. Then you can send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from the deck to the discard pile. You can only activate 1 of these a turn. That's cool if you're setting up for another draw or you're trying to dig to find the rest of the combination. Again, we're going to be able to do this in 3 cards. And this is extra draw 2s. And again, you don't care when it comes to hand destruction. Once per turn means they are a free choice. Again, they are a free choice when dealing with Dark World dealings. Both players draw a card and then discard a card. And it's in that order. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So you do get to see if the card is going to be helpful to build the hand. Then again, hand destruction, quick play. Each player sends 2 cards from the hand to the graveyard, then draws 2. This is actually semi-important with the wording. Not all decks will get effects. This deck is not concerned with it, but like you wouldn't play this in Dark World, but you could play this in Fabled. Because Fabled is talking about, at least I think they are talking about being sent from the hand to the discard pile. And Dark World is definitely, they have to be discarded by an effect. Again, this is going to help us try to correct the hand and get to our 3-card combination. So one of those cards is Inferno Fire Blast, and here's some reasons why. First off, nice dual terminal. Awesome. When you activate this, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of 1 face-up Red Eyes Black Dragon that you control, and Red Eyes Black Dragon monsters cannot attack the turn you activate this. That seems pretty straightforward until you guys remember that Red Eyes Fusion is going to change this guy's name to Red Eyes Black Dragon. And since it never actually said 2400 on the spell, sorry, I waved my hand, it went all out of focus, there we go. Since it doesn't actually say 2400, it's going to be whatever the original stat is, and that's going to be 3500 per Inferno Fire Blast. So again, if we get 2 of these, that's going to be game with a Red Eyes Fusion. Again, Desires banish the top 10 from the deck face down, draw 2, can only activate 1 per turn. And again, hand destruction, card destruction, and Dark World dealings, love seeing that. And then you got the one card you absolutely need to start the loop because you need to develop the fusion monster. That's going to be the Red Eyes Fusion. Again, fusion summon one monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as material from the extra deck, using monsters from the hand, deck, or field as material. And if you do, the name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. There it is, guys. You cannot normal or special summon other monsters the turn you activate this card. You can only activate one of these per turn. And again, this is the way Predaplant Verde Anaconda gets around a lot of things dealing with Red Eyes Fusion, is because he's using the effect. He's not dealing with that last part. So you're able to create extra links. You're allowed to summon beforehand. And in this version of this deck, this is our summon. So we can't do anything but this. Real quick, we do have the Red Eyes Insight. Send a Red Eyes monster from the hand or deck, and that's important. I love it when it says deck, to the graveyard to add one Red Eyes spell or trap from the deck to the hand, except Insight. And again, another once per turn. And again, this will get you your Red Eyes Fusion right out the gate. So, awesome. And the last spell, this is a secret tool we need to increase our Inferno Fire Blasts. So, Serial Spell, you can only activate this card when you activate one of your normal spells. Discard the remainder of your hand to the discard pile. This card's effect becomes the same as the normal spell. So for the small cost of your hand, this is essentially having an additional Inferno Fire Blast. So now that we've stacked the deck with 6 of those, and with Insight, we can either draw into our Red Eyes Fusion, or we can Insight and tutor into it. We needed a way to copy the damage. So now let me explain the loop with the effect. So if for everybody doing the math, 2 Inferno Fire Blasts is not game at 7,000. When this guy's fusion summoned, you can send a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Here's the killing stroke. If you do, inflict damage to the opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster. You don't need the rest of the effect. We just need to know that the 6 Red Eyes monsters that are 7 stars are all 24s. And since they're all 24s and we're going to be able to deal half that, we know for a fact that we're going to be able to deal 8,200 because half of 24 is 12 and we were down by 10. So I'm going to try to shuffle this up and see just how bad I draw right now, since obviously this thing was just sorted. So guys, how you liking the channel? I hope that some of these video types are enjoyable. Obviously, I don't like wasting anybody's time. That's why I try to do the the deck list real quick. And right now, I know there's just a lot of dead air, so I gotta get my hands on camera. We gotta shuffle it so you know I'm actually shuffling it. There are a lot of people who will just hit like the pause button, stack the deck, and go, "Wow, look at that! I did it." But nah, this deck would not work like that. That would be silly. All right. So let's try hand 1. So we need 3 cards. There's one of them. Dark World Dealings, that might help. We have a Red Eyes monster. We have a Cards of the Red Stone, and we have a Lure of Darkness. So if you're going first, this is what you have, which again is not terrible. We have one of the 3 cards we need. First thing that we could do is we could Cards of the Red Stone for a draw 2. And choose not to send. We could just as easily go into Dealings, because again, Dealings is going to require the draw before the drop. So we're going to see the Red Eyes Retro. Let's drop him. Hope and Pray with our second Dealings. Hand Destruction, drop it. All right. Desires. I'll show you guys the 10 because we're not actually playing against anybody. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw 1, draw 2. So real quick, we got to tally up what we think we still have in the deck. So that's fine. We saw one of these go, but that's fine. If we get this, we could still use it from our hand. And there's also still one in the deck if we get the fusion anyway. So that is fine. This is all gone. That's banished. We throw the first desires away. Now we're done playing desires. We still have the ability to play the allure. And we've got our safety net with our meteor. So we'll get a hand destruction and a meteor. Banish meteor. And really, there's no way to win at this point. Because unless we send the Inferno Fire Blast and just hope to draw into it. Again, we just missed all of the cards we actually needed. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a glass cannon. If you open up with 3 cards, perfect, you're fine. I do prefer going second. I do like to try to get that extra card in. Because, you know, it is what it is, my friends. So, I don't know. I'm going to try another hand real quick. Okay, and we're going to go second. So let's get that draw card here. See what hand has for us. Okay, we got Insight, which is good. You got Cards of the Red Stone. We got the Serial Spell. We got Insight, and we got Fusion. So we know we're making our card. Unfortunately, that's the only real reason to be playing Insight. What is our draw? Our draw is a Red Eyes Black Dragon. So we can play Cards of the Red Stone. That's fine. Let's start by playing your Red Eyes Fusion. Because, again, the sooner you do this, just the better. And, again, I like to kick out of the deck even when I have an option in hand. Just because it's fine. It'll do what it does. So there we go. We got our Fusion monster. And we're going to have to, you know, shuffle a little bit. Whatever. Sorry, I'm just a little tired. Okay, so we got our guy. We're going to play the Cards of the Red Stone. We're going to go ahead, do the draw 2, then we drop something depending on whatever happens. So, like, we'll drop something, which is fine. It'll thin out the deck. So you just drop a Red Eyes out. Pardon me. So then we'll use Hand Destruction. We'll try those. Got a Serial Spell. There's our Inferno Fire Blast, which means we now have all the pieces. So then now you just, again, you'd activate this, do this, drop your hand. So now this is a copy. We would have already played this effect and thrown something out of the deck like that. And that would be 8,200. I'm going to try one more real quick one. Let's see if we could go 2 of 3. I doubt it. Again, if I don't shuffle the decks beforehand and like get a really good mix, I do tend to see the same clump from the way that I profile them. So my friends like to play me right after a video, right after a taping or something, just because they know that's a good time to get a couple quick wins on a deck before I start really winding up on them. So, last hand. Let's say it's another go second. So, there's our draw 1. We're going to have Meteor Dragon, Retro, Desires, Allure. I got the Inferno. And we draw into another Inferno. So that's cute. I would say just happily go into Desires blindly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As long as the first 2 weren't amazing, I don't feel too bad. We lost a lot of draw power. I don't mind seeing cards that are just one-ofs per turn go away. And then our draw 2 will be a retro and a card destruction, which is actually fairly interesting. So what I could do now is actually set these so that they're immune, hit my card destruction, drop 4 to get 4. And that saves it. So now we can still activate an Inferno Fire Blast from the field. We're still going to be able to activate our Red Eyes Fusion. So again, just real quick, grab Meteor, grab Red Eyes, go Comet, throw Red Eyes for 12 damage, 1200 damage. That Allure's got to stay face down, so we'll activate by flipping up that Inferno Reckless, or sorry, the Inferno Fire Blast. Quick Play Chain, our serial spell. Discard hand for an extra 7,000. So again, 8,200. And obviously, the more I shuffle this, the more even my draws are going to get. A lot of it is trying to figure out when to play Desires and when not to. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. I feel like the more you play with a deck, the more in tune you get with it. So I'm not doing a combos video because we just kind of did the test hands here. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and listening to me mumble because I'm just tired. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next video. We'll see you later.